Hey guys, and welcome to the Polestar Winter Experience. I'm currently here in Golsfjellet in Norway, only about a 2.5 hour drive from Oslo, so I'm pretty much in my backyard for this event. And what an event it is. We've been driving here on this ice lake where we have different tracks the whole day and the weather is superb. So I've already driven the Polestar 3 about a year ago with Chief Test Engineer Joachim Rydholm, who is responsible for vehicle dynamics. I drove that car on an ice track in Jokkmokk, so I've already made that video. I'm gonna link that video down below, a cool video. But today I'm taking the Polestar 4 out on an ice track to show you guys how this car will behave dynamically. And I have to say right away, I think this is the more fun of the two. It's actually a lot more fun than I was expecting. So let's jump in the car, take it out on the track, and I'll show you guys how fun and dynamic the Polestar 4 long range dual motor can be on a track like this. Remember at the end of last year when I was talking about traveling to California to do warm weather testing of the new Polestar 3, Polestar 4, Volvo EX90, Porsche Macan, and Audi A6 e-tron. I started the GoFundMe, but we weren't able to raise enough funds for that trip because that would be a very expensive trip, probably in excess of 10,000 euros. But we still managed to raise about 1,000 euros, so instead we're going to Spain. And that trip is happening in just a few weeks. So I've already booked a Polestar 3, a Polestar 4, a Volvo EX90, and I'm awaiting confirmation from Audi and from Porsche. But 1,000 euros is still a very tight budget for me and a videographer, somebody to help me and film and to drive the other cars so we can do, comparison tests and all of that good stuff. That's still a very tight budget for me and a videographer to fly to Spain and to stay there for a week, living in hotels and eating food. So if you want to support this trip, I do appreciate that a lot. I've updated the GoFundMe, and all contributions, big or small, is much appreciated. So 5 euros, I'm immensely thankful for. 20 euros will actually get us a good meal down there. So if you want to support me, there's a GoFundMe linked down below. Thank you very much, guys. Now on with the video. Okay, so we're going to put the car into drive now, and then we're going to turn on sport mode, and that puts the drivetrain into performance mode. Steering, we're going to put it to the lightest, and also the suspension, we're going to put it to the medium setting. One pedal drive on. So this is the long range dual motor, so all-wheel drive. And with ESC turned off, it's not like 100% off, but it's much more defeatable than, for example, in the Polestar 3. So this has 544 horsepower, and they've just given us a prepped track here, which is pretty awesome. And this car, it just lets so much more slip than the Polestar 3. This is such an impressive car. Like, turn in is so much better. It just lets you play. It lets you get, these really nice slip angles, and also it gives you wheel slip, so you can actually get the car sideways. It is so controllable compared to, so new prep track, and they've also removed the cones here. So there were cones here telling us, no, they still have the cones here, these small ones showing us the apex. But before there were like grooves because we had driven here all day. A little bit easier to see where we're gonna drive. But this car, it's so confidence inspiring on roads like these. It is a very, very impressive driving car. It basically does what you want. So when I first drove the Polestar 3 about a year ago on an ice track, I was very impressed by that car. It also have a torque vectoring, rear differential. Oh, we're gonna have to back out there. And then let the car, rotate on throttle. But this, without it, I think this is more impressive. That Polestar 3 may be more sure-footed on, I don't know, wet asphalt, dry asphalt, on a different type of surface. But here, this just lets you have so much fun with these angles. It is actually hilarious. I'm gonna try not to go too fast here. We don't want to go off. Like, we go off, we have to be rescued. So we're gonna try to go a little bit slower here now. So it's not as easy when we don't have the grooves where people have driven before. So we're gonna try to see if we can get a little bit of, yeah, there we go. A little bit of a drift. Yeah, this is fun. This is such a laugh, this car. try to be more precise on this second round here. So I've been on ice track driving here in Gulsfjelle before. I've been here with Continental. I didn't make any videos on that about a year ago. I was here with BMW many years ago, and these instructors are the same people usually every time. So these guys have some real knowledge about driving like this, and you know, if you live in it, like this should almost be mandatory, like driving on an ice track like this, like once a year, take a course. Because for me, like I get to go to these events, of course, with the manufacturers, but it's a really nice refresh, like on your driving skills, and like there's so much more value information to get reminded of every time you go to one of these events. Like how weight transfer is with a car, how the car will, you know, behave on throttle, with ESC on, with ESC off, and there we go. So here we have to, yeah, let off a little bit, or else we'll go out over there. Done that before, but you know, steering inputs very sharp. This front end on this car, it just wants to turn in. It is so eager, and then it lets, you know, the rear come out, and then you go on throttle, and then you can do these big huge slides. So I'm not driving the most efficient line here, but I have to say, guys, this car I think it's going to be a lot funner than the Polestar 3, the Polestar 2 on an ice track. And this is where we went off earlier. It's a little bit slippery here. Yeah, so the line I went through there, not the racing line, not the ideal line. You know, I'm not an expert at driving, though I do enjoy spirited driving, and days like this, there's still a lot to learn. I mean, you could probably drive like this for the rest of your life, for every day, and still, you know, fine tune that racing craft or driving craft, or just, you know, vehicle dynamics. So let's see if we can get a really nice slide here. Yeah. I mean, this thing just dances so beautifully. There we go. That is a slide. Yeah. So I had fun in the Polestar 3 a year ago, but honestly, guys, this is more fun. Compared to that Polestar 3, you have a lower, you know, center of gravity. And also, I talked to some of the instructors here who have been driving both cars, and they say that the reason this Polestar 4, you know, wants to rotate so much more eager than the Polestar 3 is because the center of mass, like where the car rotates, is like right here in the middle of the car, where with the Polestar 3, it's further behind. And I've never thought of that. You know, we always talk about like, you know, center of gravity, like height-wise, but the center of mass also. This is why, you know, race cars are mid-engined, and this was the long left turn. Okay, I missed this one. That's why, you know, race cars are off mid-engine, to have that, you know, that center of mass as close to the middle of the car, because it just makes it rotate so much easier. This thing is, oh my god, guys, this is so much fun. If you ever have a chance to drive a car on an ice track like this, you know, an event with instructors who can, you know, teach you, you can get the theory, you can get the instructions. This is so much fun. This is such a laugh, guys. So I've driven the Polestar 4 on ice, and we're at the end of this day's event. And before we end the video, I just want to show you guys this trio, the Arctic Circle editions of the Polestar 2, the Polestar 3, and the Polestar 4. So this is basically the car I got to ride in. I mean, not basically, it's exactly the car I got to ride in a year ago in Jokkmokk with Joachim Rydholm, who is chief test engineer for vehicle dynamics. It's just a different livery, and that's about it. So if you want to see a detailed tour of this car, I'm going to link that video down below because I have that on the channel. But we can go over to this car because this is the real interesting one. This is the Polestar 3, which is a large, luxurious electric SUV on air suspension. But what they've done here, if you come closer, and it's pretty cool. So tire pressure, ride height, this is 40 millimeters raised above the ground versus a normal Polestar 3. And what they've done, they've, you know, removed the air suspension and they've given it Öhlins dampers. And risen the ride height by 40 millimeters, and it has these, you know, insane OZ Racing rally wheels and these Lappy Pig tires, right? These studded tires, which are just insane on an ice track. We got to go a trip in this earlier today, and it is just insane. These are some new OZ Racing wheels that haven't been launched yet. They're actually launching with this car and the Polestar 4 we have over here. So like, it's pretty much the standard. Like, we have the same, you know, if you check this out, we have, you know, this air spoiler here, which gives it better aerodynamics. It has a blacked out Polestar logo and these rally lights, and also this hook here. But basically it's the same car, but it is raised. But it has this massive roof rack, and I don't know if I can get up closer here, but like it's massive. Wait, oh, I almost fell down. But it's massive. Like, you have like a shovel, you have lights, you have a spare wheel, and like a Pelican case and stuff like that. So that is it is pretty cool. Probably not the best for range, but I'm loving the livery. Ice Race 2025. You know, we are here at the Polestar Winter Experience. So it also has some car seats. We can show you the car seats in the next car, which is the Polestar 4. But if we just walk over to the rear, it has these huge rubber flaps, like mud flaps, and also a tow hook here, which is practical if, you know, one of these cars goes off the track and gets, you know, stuck in the snow banks. But yeah, let me know, guys, is this something, this Polestar 3, with this, you know, livery, race ride height, and stuff like this, is this something you guys would be interested in buying? Because I think, as cool as it is, there's actually a market for something like this to be sold to the public. That's my opinion. I would absolutely be interested in something like this because it's just super cool. And then we have the Polestar 4, which was the car I drove on the ice track today. Very impressive. I like this even more than the Polestar 3. But again, we have the Arctic Circle Edition. This doesn't only have 2 lights, it has 4 of these Rally LED headlights, and it's just insane. That same, you know, blacked out Polestar logo, that's really cool. That's something I think they should offer from factory. From factory, this is the same color as the body, but having it, you know, in a contrast is pretty cool. So this is only raised 2 centimeters or 20 millimeters, but we have the same wheels and tires as with the Polestar 3, this new OZ Racing rally wheel design, and it is just super, super cool. And I got to get a ride in this, and this is even more impressive than the Polestar 3. So walking over here, pretty much the same livery, but instead of a ski rack, this has just this suction mount for skis, and it looks super cool. I mean, it is really, really awesome. So I want to show you guys one thing with this on the interior before, you know, we end this video. So first off, it has these really cool Recaro bucket seats which hug you like in your thigh area, but also the shoulders for side-to-side movement. And it also has, you know, a fire extinguisher like all of the other cars here. And, you know, these seats are pretty insane. But you may be seeing something that's not normal in a Polestar 4, and that is this. So this is actually a hydraulic e-brake like you get in a rally car. And when you pull this, it actually disengages the rear electric motor, and then there's an extra caliper on the rear that then clamps onto the discs, and you can do, you know, a pretty 180 turn with this thing. So we're gonna hop out again. I'm gonna show you these calipers because they're insane. They are dedicated to this Arctic Circle Edition Polestar. Pretty cool. So those are the calipers, pretty cool. They're smaller than the original calipers because they just wanted something, you know, lightweight for the purpose of the e-brake. But guys, let me know what you think about the trio of the Polestar Arctic Circle collection. It is pretty darn cool. And let me know, is this something you guys would be interested in if it ever came to market? So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later and goodbye.